Good evening. We're going to get started to keep track of time here. I have some guests waiting on a panel. So I'm just going to talk about a few things here first. First of all, I appreciate you guys all being here, taking time out to give input and feedback on what we believe is something that we have to look at the Bertha-Hewitt School. In my first 3 public meetings, we took input, and our administrative team made multiple changes along the way. And after getting feedback from staff, students, and families recently, I'm going to change the tone of my meeting tonight. I'm going to share information that is for the 4-day school week. I am in favor of it as the superintendent of the school district, so I'm going to have more of a persuasive conversation tonight because I feel as the superintendent of the schools, I need to put forth the best plan for our school district to stay viable for the future, and that's going to be the tone of my presentation tonight. So in order to have an effective presentation tonight, we need to be respectful of people's opinions. Some people are in favor of it strongly, and some are against it, and we all have our reasons, but let's be respectful of those reasons. Stay on topic, student-focused, and strategic plan. So we're here, we have a strategic plan from 2022 to 2027. There was a copy in back as well as the calendars. Our goal behind these conversations is keep students at the forefront and also our strategic plan. Okay, I'm going to cue in our Google Meet, if I can do it correctly. Hey, Sherry, can you hear me?
Yes, I sure can.
Patty, can you hear me?
Can you? Yes, I can.
And then Katie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. We'll start with Katie. If you want to introduce yourself to the group.
All right. I'm so sorry my camera is not working for whatever reason, but my name is Katie Berdorf. I am a 2020 graduate from McCray High School. I also just graduated in December with my Bachelor's of Science from MSU Moorhead, and I will be returning in the fall to MSUM to obtain my Master's in Speech Language Therapy.
Hi, I'm Patty Kaiser. I'm a student at the Great Britain El Rosa School District.
Sherry?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, and congratulations on considering the 4-day school week. I was a high school principal and school superintendent at ACGC Atwater Cosmos Grove City when I wrote our first application, successful application for the 4-day school week. Then I moved to McCray. Way to go, Catherine. Moved to McCray and was the superintendent there, followed their previous application, wrote another application. So I've been through everything that Eric, you and all the people in your room are going through. I've been through it several times. And I want everybody to know I just attended last October the National 4-Day School Week Conference in Oregon State University. And I have some information that may be from research done by the RAND Corporation that may be pivotal to your discussion this evening, Eric.
Sounds good. And we have Pat Walsh, the superintendent of BBE, is listening and might chime in a few times when he's on the road. So the reason I wanted to bring these 4 individuals in is, and I wanted them at the beginning so we can be cognizant of their time. But I told them we had about 20 to 25 minutes of their time, and they're here simply to answer questions from you. Okay? I've had a person at the last meeting that was involved in it. It was fantastic to get another outside opinion. So the floor is open to you. So if you want to ask a question, I will then repeat it to everybody, and I'll read it, and I will, if you want to give it to somebody in particular, you have a student, you have a parent/teacher, and you have an administrator.
4-day or 5-day doesn't matter. What matters is how you live your hours in school. When I was the principal at ACGC, we were a National Blue Ribbon School, um, nominated by the Commissioner of Education in 2014 while we were a 4-day school week. So my belief is it doesn't matter if it's 4 or 5. What matters is instruction. Catherine, I think you were going to say something.
I mean, I was really gonna hand it off to you, but I 100% agree. I think that, you know, a lot of us were able to strive with the 4-day school week, and we were able to, you know, really sit down, get our work done, work together. Especially, I think a lot of us learned the importance of working together and teamwork and working together, and just the beauty of how that all comes together for a lot of us students. And especially that has carried on now that, you know, I'm in college or, you know, was in college, and just the importance of that skill.
Okay, we'll take the next question. Yes.
Have they seen an improvement in recruitment and retention of teachers and other staff?
Maybe more for Sherry, possibly Patty. Have you seen a improvement in recruitment or retention of staff members when you move to the 4-day model?
Go ahead, Patty.
And I was gonna tell you, you could answer that, Sherry.
You know what? Our teachers love being on the 4-day. We've never done exit interviews to ask people. But I do know that when people leave, and you know, when people leave, they leave because they're getting married. They leave because their husband took a different job or their wife took a different job. For familial reasons, I am going to reference this book, and I don't know if you can, you can't see it. Can you? It's called Does 4 Equal 5? And it is written by the Rand Corporation from Virginia. They led the 4-day week conference in Oregon. And if you want to, I think you can get access to this just through the internet, but does it help attract, does the 4-day week help and attract and retain teachers? Here's one of the findings. District and school leaders, school board members, teachers agree the 4-day week was a competitive advantage for teacher retention and to a lesser degree recruiting, but nevertheless retention and recruiting they found to be a key finding.
The 4-day week has been really significant on that day off, so I don't take any days off at all. I'm able to schedule all those appointments on the day we have off, so that has been a very nice thing to be able to be flexible with.
Okay, thank you. Another question. Yes.
I just have a question regarding your schools. Are they rural schools, large schools? And as far as like housing and the people that attend, I guess I'm asking like poverty area.
Yeah, could you give the demographics of your school district? And we'll go in order of how you introduce yourself. So Katie, where you were at, Patty, and then Sherry and the schools you've worked with in a 4-day. Demographics, poverty, maybe housing issues, that kind of stuff. Go ahead, Katie.
Okay, so this is gonna be kind of hard for me to answer, I feel, because I'm not in that, you know, parent perspective. But I would say the area of McRae, the culture around it, very agricultural. Yeah, very agricultural based. And I mean, that's all I can really say around it for very like cut and dry terms of it. But yeah, I feel like Sherry would definitely give like very descriptives.
Patty?
We are also rural based. We actually have the elementary school in Burton and the high school is in Belgrade. Mr. Walsh would actually be able to give a lot more information on the demographics of the school.
Maybe he'll chime in if he has time, but Sherry, if you want to go ahead.
Sure. Both McCray and ACGC are both very, very rural districts. They're very large geographical districts. ACGC is 351 square miles, and McCray is slightly larger than that. Um, both communities have workers who travel most like Wilmer and Montevideo and Litchfield for work. But there are a fair amount, there's quite a few actually in McCray, parents who are employed locally within the district. Does that answer the question about the geography of the districts?
And our square miles is 277 square miles. That's how much our district takes up.
I guess
More clarification.
my real question is, when you first switched over, how did the parents that really depend, that have to work, how did they do with, oh, all of a sudden now I've got to figure out another day? What do I do with my kids on that day when there's no daycare available?
Okay, we'll have Patty and Sherry answer this one. So when the adjustment was made from 5 to 4 days, how did families, parents adjust to having to, find daycare, do different things if they work 5 days themselves? How was the adjustment? Patty?
So at the elementary school, we do have a daycare there, so parents do have the option to have their kids there on that extra day. Most of our daycares in the area do have school-age kids on that day they've had off, so it hasn't been a super hard thing. We transitioned to 4-day week probably 13 years ago or so. Most of the parents were in favor of it, and I believe it's like 90% are still in favor of it and enjoy the 4-day week.
I'm going to give you an example. The first person that came in to see me when I was at ACGC also coincidentally had grandkids at McCray. And he came in and he said, Berderius, this is the best decision you've ever made. Mondays at McCray are my days to be with my grandkids. I go hunting, I go fishing, we go camping, I teach them how to make food on a campfire, we do woodworking in our shop. And that has been very, very, very typical of a lot of families. It might be grandpa, it might be grandma, it might be an aunt or an uncle or an older sibling. And Catherine, I'd like you to share what your realities were. But, people who are opposed will immediately say, well, our grandpa doesn't live here, or we don't have an aunt or an uncle. But what's happened is, I just talked to a mom from ACGC, and she said her daughter did some part-time work on Mondays, taking care of some neighbor kids. She earned enough money to buy a car so she can go become an RN up at Concordia Moorhead. It's just so typical of how people work together. A second anecdotal story I want to tell you is the last time I had to apply for the application at McCray, I had a room full of mothers who came in, their arms crossed, and sat. And I'm going, what's the matter, you guys? If you go back to a 5-day week, you will have a revolt in your hands. And what a lot of the mothers have done, because they wanted to be with their kids on Mondays, if they worked as a dental hygienist, as a nurse in Wilmer, a lot of them in the medical field, some people who did clerk in the grocery store in town or worked at the hardware store, said, I'd like to have my hours, please, be Tuesday through Friday, the same hours as my kids, so I can have Mondays with my kids. Those are very typical. Catherine, do you have any examples, like in your family, what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys definitely hit the nail on the head with this. So the 4 days started when I was in first grade. So I grew up a lot of the time on Mondays. I spent a ton of time with my grandma, and really, I would say, looking back, it was such a highlight. I got to learn, how to bake. I ran errands with her, and it was the best time. It also, just from the kid perspective, looking back, it's such a good break, and you don't think of it any differently. You're hanging out with grandma or grandpa, you're doing all of those fun things. And Patty definitely mentioned this, but I had 2 older siblings, and my mom made all of our appointments on that Monday, and it kept us from, having to leave school, and she would have to change her schedule so much to, fit that. And it's like, hey, I have to take her out of school for 2 hours, and then my oldest has to be out of school on Thursday for so much. And it's so much easier to do it that way. But yeah, I would say, if my grandparents weren't around, I spent a lot of time with friends in the area because their parents were able to work around their work schedules, or even I went to a home daycare and her grandchildren went to McRae with me growing up. And really, I guess from my perspective, there never was, bump in the road. It never became an inconvenience. And I would say my parents 100% supported the Mondays off for sure.
Okay, next question. Yes.
Have they noticed that the 4-day week has actually attracted any new students?
Did you notice in your school district, did the 4-day-a-week attract students?
Yes, as a matter of fact, when I was calling, I was working with Representative Baker on the 4-day week legislation earlier this year, and I called Superintendent Jay Cook up at Lake Superior to see if he would help with this and if he would be a part of pushing solely the 4-day week. And he said, I don't want to, because we have so many kids who come in from surrounding areas. I don't want other schools to become 4-day school weeks because they might stay in their own district then.
We had a couple scenarios that happened on campus in the last couple weeks. We had a family who came in to enroll their students. They're new to the area, have kids in school next year, to enroll their kids because we were a 4-day school week. We told them we're not yet. We probably have had 3 or 4 instances where people have called to get paperwork. We're not making a decision in hopes to lose kids, obviously. We want to try to keep everybody here as a part of our school family. But I do believe we will draw new families because of this. Another question?
On the opposite side of that, did they notice a decline when they made this list?
Did you notice a decline? Did you see students leave the district because of the change?
Not at all.
No.
Kay, did you recall any kids leaving from your class in first grade? It was a long time ago. But do you recall anybody that you know of leaving? It was a lot longer for me than you, but do you recall
Keep in
anybody?
mind, my class was maybe 20 kids, but no, I don't remember at all. But I do not believe so. We stayed pretty much solid until we graduated.
Okay, so all 3 answered that they did not see a decrease in numbers. Another question? Yes.
How did the area take it whenever their taxes increased for drawing extra students?
I don't think that, so I'm just trying to go back to our original slide, that wouldn't affect, the 4-day school week wouldn't affect taxes. So I don't want to discuss stuff that isn't related to the 4-day. If you get more kids, you're going to bring in more revenue. A couple of questions that were asked to the 4-day is my kid's bus route going to be longer if we have more kids? I'm not going to send the bus out farther to get open enroll kids to make our current bus routes longer. I won't do that. I'll make sure that our kids that are on the bus now won't have longer rides than they would just because of the earlier start. But I'm not going to go out and go to past Staples to pick up families to make our current bus route longer. So, another question? Yes.
What is your main reason for implementing the 4-day versus the 5-day? What brought you to it?
So I want to go questions for them first, and when I finish the panel, then I'll go through those information that's based in our school district alone. So, good question. Thank you. I'll get to that one. Any other questions for the group?
I'd like to know what they saw some of the drawbacks or obstacles they had to overcome.
What were some of the drawbacks or obstacles that you had to overcome? We'll start with you this time, Patty. As a parent, what were some things that you had to overcome?
Since I work for the district, I can say that there was a lot of drawbacks for me because I had the days off that I was with my kids. So it was, for me, super convenient because I had one daughter that had appointments every week. So I was able to take her to all her appointments. I never had to take a day off. So I didn't struggle with any problems with them and adjusting to the 4-day week. My youngest actually grew up only knowing a 4-day week. So to talk to her about, she's like, I just don't think I can do that. But academically, I would say hasn't bothered my girls at all. They're all very smart. My youngest is actually in 10th grade and she's doing PSEO through Ally Tech, taking 2 classes right now. Next semester in the fall, she's going to only take 1 class at the high school. Everything else will be at Ally Tech. So for us, it's been actually pretty smooth.
Katie, one question for you. Katie, one question for you. We've had a lot of families. Sherry, can you mute? We've had quite a few families say if we go to a 4-day school week, they believe it's going to affect kids when they go to college negatively. We have maybe a 5-day program, or when they go to work after that. Do you have any insight on that?
You know, I understand why that would be a worry or a concern for parents. In high school, I would say a majority, if not every single one of my classmates, we all had a part-time job. Whether it was for gas money or money to get into sporting events, whatever we needed it for, we were all working. And really, we all took that Monday to work and get homework done. And I would confidently say that we all learned skills such as time management, organization. We were really able to hone in on those. I would say also that our teachers in the high school, especially us who did college ready classes, so very similar to the PSEO classes, we were very much well prepared that, you know, we understand that when you go to college, you're going to have to go to schools for a 5-day week. I would also like to add that college schedules are definitely different than a high school setting. And, you know, you might have a class from 9 to 11, and then you don't have one until 4 in the afternoon. So I would say that was a harder transition for me than it was just going to a 5-day week. But I would say overall, I had no problem transitioning whatsoever. And I was probably the only one on my whole campus who did a 4-day week and came from that perspective of things. And no, I don't think it caused any troubles at all.
Okay, any other question? I want to get about 5 minutes left for these people so I can be cognizant of their time. Yes.
How does that affect kids with special needs and their families?
Sherry and Patty, maybe you can allude to this. What did your school district do to help students with maybe IEP or special needs?
And teachers.
And the teachers.
It was a time-consuming process, but we met with the families. There were very few IEPs that were difficult to solve. It was just a matter of making sure that we had all the hours that were required, that we made those fit into 4-day week, the 4-day week. So they might have had longer amounts of time. But it's a good question because it was something that some parents feared, but we resolved it.
I agree with Sherry. It was the same way in our district. They just met with parents to make sure that IEP was being followed, made sure they got in all the time that they needed to have with the student, and still made sure the student's needs were being taken care of.
Did either of you two, the districts at all on those, like on Mondays, we're going to have targeted services for K through 8th graders. So we're going to offer a program from 8 to noon. Did you do anything for that with students on IEPs to let them come in on that off day?
We did not.
We didn't either. There were some schools of the 520-some schools at the national conference wanted to start adding more time to their Mondays, not necessarily for special education, but just for more enrichment kinds of activities and reinforcement. But I don't know. There's some people that say, well, if you're going to be on a 4-day week, be on a 4-day week, not start bringing stuff back on Mondays that are for permission.
You haven't got it yet. Heidi, I have the same concern as you, so you talked about special ed staff. Do you have a specific concern that I can ask them if they had an issue with that?
Well, just being able to fit in the IEP meeting, because we already have to work around parents' schedules with that already, and then trying to get them in and rescheduling meetings, make sure we have time in. But how it affects their learning and that consistency for those kids, it's already a struggle when they come back to Monday. We lose Monday because they're trying to get back in their routine, and then we're taking another day off.
Okay, a couple of kind of maybe a twofold question. One is IEP meetings. Do you feel it was an issue? We've talked to a couple of schools that they felt it gave more time because of the teacher days extended. So were IEP meetings an issue? And then did the students with special needs have a difficult time adjusting only having 4 days? So if they have 3 days off, did it take them more time to get back into the thick of things?
IEP meetings were scheduled like they normally were before. There wasn't any issue with that. And the students I have known that need that structured schedule, once they got used to it, they got used to it. And then to go back, of course, they always have that little lapse where they struggle with the schedule anyways. So once they know the schedule, they're perfectly fine. Yeah, you're always going to have a couple kids here and there that it just takes them that time to learn the schedule, but once they get used to it, then they're fine.
Our special ed teachers really actually, I'm going to use the word enjoy the time to come in on a Monday and work in peace and quiet and do the evaluation work that has to come after the assessment and write the IEPs. They really like that. There's a lot of teachers who have said, on a 4-day week, we can have Saturdays be our true weekend, Sundays a more relaxed family time, and Mondays that opportunity to go back and work in my classroom if I want, work on some IEPs, change my curriculum for the second semester. So I've just not seen any special ed kids who can't adjust back.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys each one more time to comment. I'll end with you, Sherry. But Katie, if you want to say one more statement or two, and then Patty, and then Sherry.
Sure. So overall, I would say that the 4-day school week never has affected my outcomes academically, both, growing up elementary, high school, as well as college. And really, I think that kids, whether they do the day to work, run errands for their parents or personal, whether they just take it as a rest day, or some might even call it a mental health day, and just get ready for their week. As much as adults need it, kids need it as well. So really, it's just that time. Do your homework, study, get ready for the week. And I'm so thankful I had that time, for sure, whether it be for family, like Sherry was definitely talking about, or just personal. So I would say overall, it's always been beneficial.
I agree. I've only had a positive experience with a 4-day work week. Being able to have that time to schedule appointments on Mondays off has been wonderful. I haven't had to worry about taking any additional time off during the week because I have that day. My girls have done very well with a 4-day week, and 2 out of the 3 have gone to college and done extremely well. Like I said, my youngest is actually doing PSEO classes, and she has to do them on Monday when we don't have school, and she's done very well with that. And my girls have also worked on those Mondays too, so it's been very positive for us. We have enjoyed it so much. I can't imagine going back to 5 days now.
When we started the 4-day school week, it was back in the olden days where we started because we said we needed to save money, and we did save money. But as we got more sophisticated with it, the outcomes were fantastic. And one thing that if you guys decide to go with a 4-day school week, I bet Pat Walsh would be willing to meet with the administration at Bertha-Hewitt. I would be willing to meet with the administration to share with them some of the things that we did that were more sophisticated than we did in the first few years. Because our results where family time is probably the most important thing to parents. That is the most important outcome, has been family time. And, but we did a lot of things intentionally with our Mondays. And some of those things are, kids at McCray are required to do volunteer, 70 volunteer hours and before they graduate. Many of them did that. Job shadows. Job shadows are required at McCray. College visits are required at most schools. A lot of kids do those things on Mondays. I had a girl when we were building our school do her job shadow with our architect on Mondays, so she didn't miss school. A lot of kids do that, but there's a lot of teacher reasons why Mondays off work, administrative reasons like PD, which I'd love to talk to Eric and his team about, coaches, advisors. There have been times where 4-day school week schools have these math league and knowledge bowl competitions on Mondays, and it's just 4-day week schools that have gotten together because we've got a bunch of them in our area. So that's the last thing I'd like to leave with all of you are some seasoned administrator experiences with how to really start out strong on a 4-day week.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you three. Thanks. Have a good night. Okay, and we will have time for questions at the end. We were just talking at our administrative meeting this morning about how we realize the importance of a 4-day school week on our behalf. We realize as an administrative team, for us to meet our strategic plan and have enough staff to operate the 4-day week is something we wanted to push for. So I actually found these three people between 9 and noon today. I've never met them before. I reached out to the schools, and there were people that were willing to be on the panel. So I had not talked to them until tonight. I think they gave us some good insight, so we appreciate that. So the question that was talked about, why? So we have 4 whys, and these whys have changed every single time from the first meeting to tonight. When we first did this, it was for financial reasons, and that's why 13 to 15 years ago, the state allowed 4-day school weeks to happen, was because of financial reasons. And those school districts did save money. After we did more and more research and found out some different information through different contracts we have and some other things, financial has dropped down to the bottom. It's still on the list. It's number 4, and I'll talk about it a little bit. But number one reason why is retention. You'll see in a little bit, we surveyed our staff, and we feel that we need to do something to keep our staff. And I'll address some clarification things towards the end as well. Attracting staff. I'll talk about the openings we have. Academic success. There is research out there that says schools stayed the same, went down a little bit, went up. We'll talk about what that means in our district. And last, financial. So retention. We have support staff. Our support staff are the paras, custodians, kitchen staff. 92.3% of them prefer a 4-day school week. Our teaching staff, 92% of them prefer a 4-day school week. So when we gave them information and had meetings, I've held many meetings with our staff, different opportunities. There was 25 after school again today. They feel in their hearts that this is the best thing for them professionally and our students. There's been a lot of comments out there on social media that it's because our staff are selfish and they want to work 4 days a week. And that's a tough comment to hear because our staff are in this profession for the kids. And they obviously understand the importance of having a 4-day school week and giving those kids extra time off will help them academically, and that's why they want that. It's not for a selfish reason. When it comes to attraction, we have been very fortunate to have phenomenal staff. As people have retired, we're having a tougher time to fill those positions. And I'll talk towards the end about why when people have left our district, we give an exit survey and they explain why they leave our district. But currently, because of schools paying more, moving back to home, we have 1 high school special ed opening. We have a high school English opening. We have a high school business teacher opening. We have a 5th to 12th grade band teacher opening. We have an elementary special ed opening. And we have a choir candidate, but he's not quite sure yet after we discussed a few things. So currently right now, the 2024-25 school year, we would make it work. We have people willing to step up and go in other areas, Right now, we have those 6 areas where we have no applicants. We feel we need to do something to attract people to Bertha-Hewitt. Academic success, I'm going to let Mrs. Washella talk on this one.
So they talked about it a little bit with our people that came in on the panel. And I'm just going to refer to the strategic plan because that's what we agreed. We had community people, we had teachers, we had administration, we had students that all worked on this plan, and we all agreed that these were the most important things. And so the second thing in the list is a legacy of educational excellence, which obviously goes with student success. There's a lot of things that go into student success, and we don't have control over a large amount of those here at the school. There are a lot of them have to do with things at home or maybe interests, or could be a whole bunch of different things, ideas that kids have about education, that kind of thing. So as a group, when we went through those, we said we want to prepare and support students. And to do that, we want to increase offerings. We wanted to provide opportunities for younger students. We wanted to develop a profile of a graduate, which basically is like a snapshot of what they've done their entire high school career. All of their volunteering, all of their job shadowing, their grades, what their interests were, all of those things to show them what's important about being a student and being just a human being in a community. Pursue CIS courses in core subject areas and encourage job shadowing. Those 5 things are not all happening right now because we don't have the consistency of staff to make it happen. We have a lot of course offerings, but right now we have 6 positions open. We cannot offer all of those with licensed teachers or people who are super comfortable in that position. We have people who are retired who have come back. They're not going to stay forever. They're very good, but we're not going to be able to keep them forever. We have people switching from elementary to high school and from elementary to special ed to fill positions. And like he said, we'll make it work. We can make it work, but then we're not fulfilling educational excellence. We're not able to do what we said we were trying to do because we don't have the staff, and we're not pulling in the staff, and the turnover is high. We do have control over implementing these, and we have control over trying to find ways to find people to come here and stay. Things have changed. And so I just wanted to make sure that we talked about that a little bit. And I think that's probably about it. Do you have anything else?
And the 4th reason, as I talked about, has kind of dropped down a little bit. I've thrown out numbers between $75,000 and $125,000. I still think the $75,000 is a fair number. I bring this up. We're not in a financial crisis. Our fund balance is very comparable to schools throughout the state of Minnesota. It has dropped the last 2 years. COVID funds were fantastic. We hired a lot of staff at that point. Those funds have been gone for 2 years for our district. But our students their needs have not changed. And therefore, we decided to keep some staff to help those students in different areas, but now we don't have them. So next year, if we stay as we are staffed, our fund balance is going to skyrocket because we don't have people to pay to run the building. So financial is important because I think we're going to save $75,000 in this model through various things. So it is still on the list as one of the top 4. Okay, we're going to go over a couple calendars. The majority of you have seen the pre-Labor Day calendar. In the last 48 hours, we have developed a post-Labor Day calendar. There was over 10 people who said they would change from no to yes if we started after Labor Day. There's some things that go with that, but I'll show that calendar as well. So this is the first calendar that we had passed. As you can see, we have established that if we go to 4 days, we will take Mondays off. Mondays seem to be the majority result. When we did our survey, initially it was 60-40, people wanted Friday off. After people listened to our presentations, our latest survey, it's actually 51 want Mondays off, 49 Fridays off. So as an administrative team, if we go forward with the plan, to present to the board on Wednesday. We will have Mondays off. The gray days are the days when nobody is on campus. The yellow days are when our staff still report. So our staff, let's go to student day. So student day right now is 8:06 to 3:06. You need to subtract breakfast if it happens during the day and lunch from your minute count for the state of Minnesota. So we take out the 16-minute breakfast and 26 for lunch. We are currently at 1,071 instructional hours. The state minimum is 1,020 hours. The proposed 4-day schedule you just saw, the bell would be 7:54 to 3:24. Breakfast would happen before school. That way we don't have to subtract that. The reason we switched that 6-7 years ago is the influx of students. We could not get elementary and high school through at the same time. So we're going to have elementary kids report to class first while the high school kids go have breakfast, so it's not a big line. So we still feel we're going to get the majority of the kids eating breakfast. With that model, we have 1,046 instructional hours. So it looks like, obviously quite a few hours less. In the past, we have forgiven days because of snow days. So the last 5 years, we have averaged 1,058 hours. So again, this new plan has 1,046 hours, and we will make up those days. We already have the snow days listed there that we would make up. So we would definitely be at the 1,046, and we would not have less than that. Here's the bell schedule. So the lunch advisor time, right now we have the 26-minute lunch, and we have a 14-minute advisor time. During advisor time, the same 10 to 12 kids get together with a staff member to go over grades and attendance and different things like that. Okay, the post-Labor Day start. So this, we heard feedback from over 10 to 12 families. They would change their vote because of this. We will consider this model as well, and I'll ask for feedback before we leave tonight. This might be a one-time thing just to give families time to adjust, since they already might have plans. Maybe moving forward, we go back to the original plan we have, but for this year, this is an option. We'd add 2 minutes to advisor time, so that becomes 16 minutes. We feel advisor time is so important. It builds relationships. You can teach different skills during that time, so adding 2 more minutes. And our goal is to have some curriculum and stuff to give those teachers to make the most of those 16 minutes. As you can see on the calendar, if you look at the end of October, October 21st, if we move after Labor Day start, then we lose 4 days in August when we don't have school. So to make up for that, we added 2 minutes to the day, and we're making up 3 student days. So that calendar has 3 weeks where there are 5-day weeks. So obviously it's a longer week, that one, but we tried our best to put them around breaks. So October 21st, people are coming off a 4-day weekend. If you look in December, December 16th starts a 5-day week, and then we have Christmas break. You come back in January for a 2-day week, and then you'd have the 3rd and final 5-day week. So we just wanted to give an option to families to look at the pre-Labor Day start and the post-Labor Day start. I surveyed staff after I gave both calendars last week. We still had over 92% of our staff wanting the 4-day week. 62% prefer the post-Labor Day start with those 3 5-day weeks. We have collected the calendars, the bell schedules, and everything from all the schools who operate in this model. We've researched it, we've talked to them, we've contacted people at the school. Here's the data I've gathered. So I'm just going to give you a minute to look over all this. I don't want to read it all to you, but it just shows how many students day we have. If we had the pre-Labor Day start, the post-Labor Day start, our bell schedule, the amount of teacher days, and then teacher hours. So you can just see where we fit in compared to the schools that currently operate in a 4-day model. Family survey. We surveyed the family. I appreciate all the responses. We had a few paper ones as well, but almost 71% of our families prefer the 4-day model. We think that's a good number of families who want that. The people who were against it gave us great feedback as well. We appreciate that. We're trying to take the feedback and make changes as we can, so we appreciate the feedback both ways. Student survey, 81% of students were in favor of this. It was a little less the first time around, and then after getting feedback from families, we changed a few things. We presented the kids again, and we have 81% in favor the second time around. I want to clarify a few things. One thing that's out there is decision is already made. That is incorrect. I'm really appreciative that we have 7 board members in attendance again tonight. They have done a fantastic job attending almost all the public meetings, and they have a tough decision to make on Wednesday. I have not talked to any of them about the decision. They are simply absorbing everything, so don't be afraid if you're leading either way to, you can reach out to them. You can email the school board. They have their own email address. If you have certain things, they want input. This is a huge decision. It is. We have made a lot of big decisions in my 10 years, and I felt like they've worked out. We take risks. This is not something many schools are discussing. I've had a lot of people reach out and ask, the why, and the why is we need to do whatever we can to be fully staffed, and I think that is valuable. Yes.
For the students that weren't 4 or 5 days, their reasons?
We hit the first survey. We had like 6 to 8 reasons why. It was, not wanting to be home, don't think I can get to practice, I'll be bored. I don't want to babysit my siblings. So the question was, did you have feedback from the students who said no? So don't want to babysit a sibling, worried about being home another day. A couple parents said, my mom and dad said, vote no. 100% reality. I don't mind that at all. It's honest. We will not use e-learning days. My first model had 2 of those, but right away, family said absolutely not. So we adjusted based on the feedback. Students will not receive additional homework. We feel that they'll have extra time during each class period to get through materials and hopefully have some more time to do the homework. So students will not receive additional homework. The school year will not end after Memorial Day. The ending date should always stay the same. If we have snow days, they're already built in to show you when they are. The teachers will work the same amount of hours. Actually, in this model, they're working about 7 hours more. The theory out there was that teachers are just trying to get away from doing more work. In this model, they actually are doing more hours. Activity practices, our day is going to be about 15 to 18 minutes longer, but our coaches, our AD, Mr. Mills just came from practice or a game. We're trying to work with our coaches to be more efficient and take out certain things in practice that have been as beneficial, be efficient, and try to get the kids out the door as close to as they are now. A few other things. I've had probably 15 to 20 people reach out to me. What are we doing to reduce the amount of people who leave our district for a variety of reasons? We give our exit survey to all of our staff. Okay? We don't have staff leaving because of particular things or one person or this program or that program. So I wanted to share that just to kind of alleviate that. We're doing everything we can to keep the people we have. So our exit survey, in the last 5 years, I've had 18 responses. Location change is the biggest one. You have disagreement with philosophy is 1 person. So the majority of them are things that are out of the district's control. Bertha-Hewitt is a good employer, and I would refer a friend to work there. So 15 out of the 18 agree or strongly agree to, they enjoy their time here, and they would refer somebody else here. And then I recommend someone to send their child to Bertha-Hewitt. Again, very good results. So we don't have people leaving us because they're angry with something or didn't like what the school did. It's more personal reasons, pay, location to where their family is, or a lifetime decision where they got married or something like that. Concerns that are still out there. I want to try to address things that we have fixed, and we have the rest of the time for questions. So daycare options on off days. There are some Mondays, there'll be 20 some of them, where we don't have school. The school district is committed to offering targeted services from 8 o'clock to noon at no cost. Targeted services is called extended school year, so we get extra funding, and we work with Freshwater Education District. So our staff will get paid through Freshwater to to offer that service from 8 to noon. So it'll give our families an option to get their kids some more education on those off days, and it won't cost the school district any more money. There will not be transportation to try to save on that part. We don't want the buses running if we don't have to. We will offer that service, and then we will have daycare from noon to 4 o'clock. That daycare will be a fee-based daycare. We'll have paraprofessionals and students, so it'll be a little cost to the district, but we feel we needed to offer something from 8 to 4 o'clock for those families. Getting junior high kids to practice. Our admin team has spoke again today. This is, we're trying to put forth the best plan to the school board on Wednesday. And then our goal is not to have us discuss certain parts, but we feel that our bus drivers, we're not going to reduce our bus driver pay. Bus driver shortage is extremely real. We're going to continue our contract we have with Accident through 2025, so we're going to honor the pay that they get. So if they're getting paid 5 days a week, we might utilize them if we see a need for van routes to get kids to practice. So if there's a big need where our kids cannot get to practice on those days, it's only going to be 10 to 12 times. We might utilize the vans and bus drivers to go pick up a few kids in different areas so no kid misses a practice. Some students will be without meals. We probably send meals home with 25 to 30 kids right now. I foresee that maybe increasing a little bit, and I believe we have the capacity in-house to take care of those meals to give the kids on those longer weekends.
And I would say on the survey with the kids, that was one of their options. They could pick as many as they wanted, and one of the options was, I'm worried about food. I'm worried I'm not going to have anything to eat. I only had 3 kids mark that as a problem. So if it was, I would think they would have said that, but I think we can handle, and it helps if people, tell us those things too.
Non-certified staff, paras, custodians, cooks will lose pay. Right now, the majority of those people work 7 hours a day. They will all be 7.5 next year. So they have their pay will stay approximately the same as it is this year. And if they want to work on those Mondays or do a van route or after-school bus duty, their pay actually can increase. So they should not see a decrease in pay. And students will have a shorter summer, and that is not necessarily the case, especially if you go with the post-Labor Day start. And that is my presentation. So now we will go with questions. I will give them the mic so you can hear the question they ask. Or you can ask them, I'll repeat it.
Oh, yeah. For the days that there is daycare offered, is there also going to be meals, like breakfast and lunch provided, or is it going to have like a stacked lunch that the parents provide?
Yep, so when we have targeted services from 8 to noon, and then from 8 to noon, yes, we'll have breakfast, and we'll have lunch for the kids. So if the kids attend either targeted services or daycare, in-house, they will have a breakfast and a school lunch as we currently do now. I really appreciate it. Jen Hess, our new head cook, was working on some paperwork to make sure that is reimbursable by the state, so it is not a cost to us. So, good question.
This is actually a question from a special needs parent. So you offer target services K through 8. She has a high school student. Do you have anything in place for that special needs kids or any high school students that would need that extra help on day off?
Yeah, but I was thinking that was another question I was asked. We are looking into that. That's probably one of the biggest concerns I have as well, is what we have to offer those students. We will definitely have K-8, but if they're 9, 12, we are still working on options. So I don't have a good answer to that right now, and that is one of our biggest holes that we can't seem to fill right now. Once we get fully staffed, hopefully, maybe we can have rotating staff to be on those off days to help those kids. Maybe do something virtually with those families just to connect with them, offer them the services that we do on those off days, whether it's speech or mental health. So definitely work in progress, and I understand it's a concern. So
And
bringing it up.
if there is a need for that, on the days that the teachers are in the building, they would actually be more available to help those students. So if there was a student that was way behind or just needed extra support, both the special ed teachers and the classroom teachers would be very available on those days. So the kids would be able to come in if they're 9 through 12.
Okay. Elizabeth?
Yeah, maybe I'm not understanding the calendar, but you guys keep talking about teachers doing work on Monday and all this stuff, but the calendar I have only shows people in the building most months one Monday, and then the rest of the Mondays there's nobody in the building. So when does all this Monday stuff
on that Monday that the staff is here?
So the yellow dates are the dates that teachers and paras are here. We've talked about, we currently have 6 or 7 early dismissals right now, where our kids get out to do PLCs. Those are gone. So we're going to avoid those, and we'll have 13 days of staff development, which is absolutely important.
But it says on here, on the gray, nobody's in the building.
Yep, the yellow ones are staff development days. So the gray ones will be when we have targeted services and those offerings.
Oh, so you don't literally mean nobody's in the building?
Nope, correct, yeah.
Okay, that was a little confusing to me.
Okay, so yeah, target service will be offered every Monday, but the yellow days are when our staff come in the building. The newest legislative right now is the READ Act. Our staff are going to put in, I would say over half our staff are going to have over 120 hours of training for reading, what's our thing we chose? I forget it. Letters training. We don't know how we're going to get that in next 2 years without having kids be gone more. This 4-day model is going to help us achieve that a lot quicker and have our staff more trained faster than anybody else because we can do it on those yellow days. Yes?
If we're paying contract for the bus drivers to drive the 5 days, why wouldn't we offer the service of transportation for the targeted services and stuff?
That's
For that first year.
That's an option. We want to try to have some financial savings, and we could save between $10,000 and $15,000 without having the buses go that day. The buses have transitioned to propane, which is much cheaper, so that is an option. I can't guarantee it right now because I'm not sure why people want it. We'll have to see, if we move forward with that. And like somebody had mentioned, how can the administrator make all these changes administratively in the next 3 months? We'll make it happen. I'm confident in our administrative team, with the help of Sherry and Pat and other superintendents, that will put forth the best plan. If the board votes on this on Wednesday and when it goes forward, we'll definitely survey the families and see who wants to take advantage of those services. If there's a big enough need to have transportation, it's something the board will have to consider. Good question. Yes?
Now, we've heard from schools and students that have had transitioned from the 4-day and really enjoy it, which is great. But do we have anybody here, like families, bus drivers, paras, athletes, or students, or teachers that have noticed discrepancy in their GPAs in their students? Have we heard any of their stories about how this negatively has impacted them?
No, the only school district that, so the question is, have we heard? Yep, I am, yep. So the question is, have you heard from schools who are negatively affected? GPA, athletes, all that kind of stuff. The only school that has changed back that I've heard of is Pelican Rapids, and that was because of their some language issues and that stuff. Schools who initially transferred to a 4-day school week, it had to be financial reasons, and then if they showed more progress financially, they were supposed to go back to a 5-day school week, and Pelican Rapids did that. So we've heard data that some kids made a dip, but the biggest data we look at, no school has changed back to a 5-day model because they didn't see enough negative difference in students and staff and athletes and that kind of stuff. So, what's that?
Is that we've heard about anyway.
So the question, yep.
Time to talk to them to see how it negatively impacted them.
Yep, so have we taken the time to talk to schools about how it negatively impacted kids? Absolutely. We have not specifically talked to schools just to get success stories. We have talked to probably 50 people in the last 3 weeks to ask every single scenario, and overwhelmingly schools are in favor of it. That's why it is still here. So we have definitely tried to find any loopholes and issues, and heard, asked for stories of negative things that happened, kids who went backwards academic and that kind of stuff. And overwhelmingly, we've heard positive, and that's why we're encouraging it to move forward. So, good points. Thank you. Yes.
I can speak to the Pelican Rapids situation. I'm a Pelican Rapids graduate. Sorry. I can speak to the Pelican Rapids School District. I'm a Pelican Rapids graduate, and I did not experience the 4-day week because unfortunately they went to that after I graduated, but I still have an immense amount of contacts to the teachers still there. And after I graduated, Pelican has moved to an almost 50% minority rate. And of that minority rate, it's English as a second language. It is, they're integrating Spanish-speaking families, Somali families. There is 6 primary minorities that encompass a 50% minority. And when you're trying to acclimate somebody to the English language and the American way of life, they went
to that model to fit the needs of their students, which is different. The cultural background is different, so we can't compare apples to apples in this situation for Pelican Rapids. The teachers did not want to go back and felt like going back to a 5-day week was a disservice to their teachers. They lost a few teachers when they're like, well, this is my time to retire. And so it's a different demographic in Pelican Rapids. And so it was wildly supported by the teachers, wildly supported by the community and the students that went there. It's just simply a different demographics, and the school board made the very difficult, not unanimous decision to go back to a 5-day week.
Okay, you have a question?
Yep, go ahead.
I've got a mic here. I'd just like to share a few thoughts here and questions I might have. We've said that there'd be a possibility of attracting teachers, and that may be so, but everyone has to understand that every school has a hard time getting teachers right now because they are not graduating from college. I mean, they aren't out there. I mean, you can go to any college and ask how many people are graduating for education, and it is bad, and I'm not sure why. But they aren't out there. So I'm not so sure that if we go to a 4-day week that we'll have a lot of teachers applying here. We also have the possibility of losing students to enrollment, and I think about families who are out in the outer fringes of our district. And if you've got a poor family or a needy family and they don't have child care available to them, they might go to another school that has 5 days. Just a thought here on that. We've had the COVID pandemic, and during that time our test scores went down because the kids weren't in school. And that could happen with a 4-day week, I'm not sure. I think there's several classes that are hands-on. I was personally a band director, and I would have hate to have given up 1 day of school because you needed it for lessons and for the kids to learn. And without them there, I wasn't going to be able to teach them. If the kids were polled on this, and I'm sure the majority did say that they wanted a day off. But then I think back, when we used to have snow days, I as a student would say, good deal, we get a day off, and we don't have to go to school. And I taught down in southern Minnesota before I came to Bertha-Hewitt, and we had one year that we had so many snow days that pretty soon the kids were saying, I want to go back to school. And likewise with COVID, if you talk to the kids, when they didn't have school time, they wanted to get back to see their friends and be in school. So it's just a thought here. Kids being home alone, I'm thinking probably junior high, senior high wouldn't be quite so bad, but elementary kids, I don't think we want them playing video games and stuff all day. I don't think they're going to be home studying, but it's just, again, just a thought of what could happen there. And the issue of just being on short notice, I think that's made this decision tough on school board and everyone because it's just a decision that has to be made immediately. As my former principal, Mr. Margim, always told the staff, he always said, we're here for the students and we want the best for our students. And that's something we have to look at. And as far as the panel tonight, somebody just mentioned that our panel tonight was kind of like a political debate. You only had one party here to debate it. And there's got to be some people that probably don't care for it, but I understand that the staff would like this because it does help their schedules, especially for their families. Another thing I wrote here, we just need not to let this get personal. We talked about that before. Eric did, that we do have a great teaching staff, and we have a wonderful community of kids. And sometimes the Facebook debates are not quite so good because people aren't talking face to face here. We should be respectful of other people's opinions and thoughts, and it shouldn't tear us apart as a community. And I trust that our board and administration will be able to make the correct and important decision, and I personally will support whatever they decide to do. And I want to thank everyone for doing the work on this. And just one more thing on as a band director again, on Mondays, it got to the point where Monday nights were the time where we had concerts because they didn't want to interfere with the athletic events of all the other days of the week. And they didn't want to have concerts, of course, on Wednesdays. So they did that on Mondays just to stay away from that. But other than that, I'm still pro teachers, so don't get me wrong on this. I want to give everyone both sides of the story.
Yeah, everyone wants to answer a couple things over here, but one thing I want to say, because Ken brought up and I forgot about it, I did meet with the MDE last Monday, and I got an answer on Thursday. This window is not guaranteed again. Okay, it was put in place March 15th, April 22nd to apply for this one time, so it's not guaranteed again next year. I asked, why would it be a one-time window with this short timeline? And they said it was just put in place by Commissioner Lillijet because of staff shortages. Both to attract people to schools who have need and to try to get people back in education. So I just want to answer that question because it was asked a lot at the Hewitt meeting. So it is a one-time window as of now. I don't anticipate it closing. I can't imagine, but they said it's not guaranteed next year. So
I was reading today, I think there's a bill where they might maybe will just allow this any time, right?
Without MDE approval, which is even better.
Right.
I think Kep kind of hit what I was going to say is the fact that teaching isn't necessarily something that people are going to school for and they're not graduating for it. So the teachers that are out there are few. So I think that being able to offer them something that might attract them here versus going to any other school that has a 5-day work week, I think that's a very good opportunity for us to, not that I want to say we're going to pull teachers away from other schools, but if there is no other teachers out there, then that's a good chance that that could be what happens.
And I will, respectfully disagree with Mr. Nelson about attracting teachers. I've had 2 people, teachers from other districts, reach out to me and ask me, hey, are you guys serious about this 4-day week thing? I said, well, it's in discussions. And they said, let me know if you have any openings. That and I was helping my mom at a garage sale Saturday in Staples. 2 different families. I had my Bertha-Hewitt staff shirt on. They asked me the same thing. Are you guys seriously going to go to a 4-day week? I said again, well, it's in discussions. I'll know more next week. They said, well, I'd bring my kids to Bertha-Hewitt if you did that. So just to let you know, I think it would be a good thing for us.
Yeah, there's no guarantee anything. There's no guarantee we're going to save money. There's no guarantee we're going to get applicants. We feel strong enough to take this stance as an administrative team because we feel there's more pros than there are cons. I've had 14 people reach out to me about asking for if there's openings, but you can't guarantee that they're going to apply until you give it a try. So, questions, opinions?
I just got a quick question. So say we do this 4-day school week and it gets approved and we move forward and we go through the whole year and it's a total flop, then what? So are you guys going to evaluate it at the end of the year and evaluate it from there? Like, what are you going to do? I mean, because we ain't going to know until you go through it.
Yep, I would say we'd have a pretty good idea by January, February if we're going to continue on. So if you apply and are accepted, you are mandated to go through it for that one initial year, but you can apply to get out of it after the first year. Like I said, I am really confident in our administrative team, our office staff, business office, with the help of other people. If we go forward, I'm very confident it's not going to flop. I'm excited to hit home run. I think it's going to help us be fully staffed. I think you're going to see academic success because we're going to have licensed people in the content areas, hopefully. But yes, if it is a flop, we would know I would say by January or February, we'd have discussions similar to now if we want to go back to it. Yes.
So going off what Jen just asked, at the first meeting, you were asking the board for 2 years. So if it flops at the first year, are we still gonna be stuck with it and stick with what you asked the board for at first meeting?
Yep, when I typically ask the board for a new position or a new program, curriculum, I ask them for 2 years. In this case, it'll be, that's my goal. My goal is if we go to this, we're gonna be so successful, we're not gonna go away. But if we have so much feedback from families that they don't like it, it's up to the board then. We'll have the same amount of meetings, same stuff to go back to the 5-day week.
So you could do it after the first year if nobody's liking it?
Correct, yep.
Okay.
You're just obligated to 1 year. But I did say that first meeting that I would like at least 2 years out of it, because that's what I've always asked the board in my time is give it a chance for 2 years.
How are we gonna track that?
We'll track attendance, we'll do surveys. We'll probably wait till November, December, we'll survey families. I'll have a public meeting. Right now, I do have a subcommittee of 5 community members we met with last Monday, 2 staff members and a board member. That's our subcommittee. We might expand that, but we'll definitely take input as many ways as we can to ensure that people like it, and if there are things we can change and make people enjoy it, we'll definitely do that. Students, staff, community members, everybody. Tina?
I'm just wondering why the other schools in the area aren't going to do this, being that we are with them on certain events and whatnot, and would it cause issues with them losing people and discrepancies between jobs, like, I'm sorry, the bus is company or whatever else. Why is it only Bertha that's getting this opportunity?
So why is it only Bertha-Hewitt that is looking into this at this current time? I'll be honest with you, it's a timeline. People don't feel they have enough time to make it happen. Timelines don't scare me. If we had to put in hours all weekend long, all summer long to make it happen, we will. So I met with 12 superintendents last Friday, and I went to that meeting. I was going to skip it actually because I thought I'd be criticized so much because of that. Because we will take people from other schools, and I don't try to do that, but it's how it is. It's a competitive nature. I'm at Bertha-Hewitt. It's my goal to make this the school of choice in our region, and I think that because we're doing it, we will attract quality people from other school districts. That meeting last Friday, everybody was intrigued. They were almost jealous because they felt, they didn't know they were doing it until they saw the first meeting as well. I didn't tell anybody about it, and they just said they could not get enough stuff done in time for that tight timeline. Henning School District was one that was considering it because Melissa Sparks was at the last public meeting. She was in McCrae when they did it, and she loved it. They have a building project right now. Otherwise, they would definitely be doing the same thing we are doing. So again, I think people are scared of the timeline. I feel that for our number 1 reason, to retain who we have, number 2, attract new people, is why we're pushing this ahead, hopefully to the board on Wednesday. So good questions. Thank you. Yes.
Earlier you were showing slides of the surveys that you did.
Yep.
And you talked about the students that were surveyed.
Yep.
And I don't remember the number, but I think it was like 183 students or something like that.
164. We did 6th through 11th grade.
6 through.
So 6th through 11th grade students were surveyed for this survey.
Because my 6th grader says that every kid in her class is opposed to it.
And I will be honest.
And that's kids talking amongst themselves.
Yep, and they got it first. So we looked at the survey. They got it first, so we tracked to specifically see 6th grade, and I know that you would do the results.
It was like 75-25, and we didn't put the 6th graders in on the second run because I would have had to interrupt their classes
Wait,
again,
so
but
75% in favor?
in favor, yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I think there's, I don't know how many there are. Do a 6th grade teacher. Kathy, how many you have? 40? No, 38? 38?
We'll go in the back.
So hypothetically, say we gain these 6 staff and we end up being negative 30 on the student side, how are we going to financially overcome that? Is there plans? Is there a plan A and B, plan C for the 4-day week flap?
Yep, so let's say we do get the 6 licensed staff, which would be outstanding. Our budget next year right now, when we have to revise our budget twice, and then by every June 30th, the school district has to submit a budget to MDE. So the question was, if we get 6 new students, or 6 new staff, and we lose 30 students, right now our budget has us getting those 6 staff, okay? And our enrollment being down 10 kids. So we always budget cautiously. That puts us overspending about $275,000, which is the reason we're doing this, is hoping to save some money, get it down closer to 200,000 bucks. So if we lose 30 kids, each kid's about 12,000 bucks, that would be a big hit. We feel that we are putting things in place based on the feedback we've gotten that we will not lose many kids. I don't want to make a decision while I'm at Bertha-Hewitt that causes people to leave our district. We've taken your feedback and made necessary changes. We've changed things 30, 40 times. Can we appease everyone? No. But we've tried to put in place things that avoid people leave our district and in hopes bringing families to our district to continue the tradition that we have here. So good question.
I'm just curious, is there a plan in place though if that were to happen? Say we do go to this 4-day school year. I was just kind of curious if there is some additional funding that the board is going to put forward to cover those costs if, I mean, June 30th is right around the corner.
Yep, so the question, does the board have a plan in place? We have a decent fund balance, it's over $1 million. We built that up over the years because of our increased enrollment. So what happens is it's okay to overspend, you just can't do it 5, 6 years in a row. So we're expected to overspend a little bit next year. Our goal is the 4-day school week helps that budget. If it does not, we overspend again, then we'll have some tough decisions to make cuts come next January or February. We have to have class sizes be bigger and less electives.
But that's gonna happen whether we're on the 4-day or the 5-day. Because if we overspend on a 5-day, same thing. Are we gonna be able to transport kids for summer rec anymore? I mean, how much? It's $22,000.
Well,
You know,
I'm just saying, you hire 6 new staff even at the 5-day. Is that still funded completely?
that's already budgeted in, that we would be, if the budget is in a full staff, with a full staff.
Yeah, the budget right now is full staffed, and to get to your point a little more, if we don't, and this is, except tonight, I'm presenting as in, I think this is what's best for our school district, our families, staff, and students. If we don't go to the 4-day school week, I don't think we'll get applicants, and I don't think we're gonna have a huge increase in enrollment. I don't think we'd be able to hire 6 people, because I don't think we can bring 6 people in at, the rate we're expecting without drawing in kids. So we probably wouldn't hire all those. We would maybe have 1 less special ed teacher. We would maybe have somebody do business/English just to make things work.
Yeah, and are we overspending for next year's budget with a -10 kids and fully staffed?
Yep, right now we're projected to overspend about, close to 200 and some thousand bucks. We always budget cautiously. We always have more money in there for electric and fuel and that kind of stuff. So we did cut 250,000 bucks out of the budget this year. We reduced some class sizes. We eliminated an elective that had low attendance, and we reduced 2 other staff members to part-time in order to trim the budget this year. I told the board we probably need to do a little bit more, but a school our size can only trim so much 1 year. So that's why we're putting in place, hopefully, this model to bring more people in to build up the revenue and then get quality staff. Somebody had a hand up over here? Jerry?
Yeah, I had a question. Been listening all day about how this is affecting Bertha-Hewitt School and the parents, staff, and everything. But yet we're so dependent on some government officials in St. Paul saying you will have this time to do this, and that's it. And you can't do it after whatever, but yet it's us that are being affected. I'm just wondering why they have that kind of power and what's going on there.
Sounds like Jerry Hazy for governor. Yeah, no, it is. It is. It's crazy. I was at a meeting on March 15th when this all came out, and we could not believe that they changed this out of nowhere with a month timeline. But our staff have been looking at this for several months since last fall. And that's why I felt we are the ones that are trying this, because we did put a lot of work in before that even came out. So back to Jerry's question about why is the government controlling this, I don't know. And that's why there is a bill right now so Sherry Borderis is like one of the leading people in the 4-day school week in the nation, and that's why she was at Oregon State presenting. There's a bill right now, I don't think it'll pass this year, that allows school districts to do this at the board level and not have to go to MD. So it would open up that window at any time that schools want to. The fact that that has traction, that's even brought up in a bill, means that a lot more schools are gonna move to this model. Other question?
So the Mondays that there's no school and the teachers aren't here, but you're still gonna have school. So is it our teachers that are gonna come in and are they gonna get paid more then, or how does that work?
Yep, so the gray days is when there's targeted services every single day school's not in session. And on those days, our teachers, we feel we have enough that want to come in and or paraprofessionals, that we have enough that'll cover those services. If we have 30 kids, we'll have 4 staff members coming in on those days to educate those kids with targeted services, which is an educational-based experience. They do some homework help, they do activities and that kind of stuff. So I do feel we'll have enough people to come in on those off days to make more money. They realize that it's going to help the school operate this way. It might not be the same person every Monday. We'll have enough staff to cover on those days. So, yep, and it's by freshwater, so it's not costing the school money. So,
You have 4 teachers, but then have 44 kids.
yep, so there's 11 to 1 ratio, 11 kids, 1 teacher, and you get 1 para per 5 kids. So if we have 20-some kids, we'll more than likely have 2 or 3 staff members here helping those kids out. And again, yes, it's run through freshwater, so the only cost incurred by district is just having the lights on for that Monday.
And just in addition to that, we have students in the Minnesota Honor Society that have to do a certain number of volunteer hours every month. That's kind of part of their deal. Nathan and Georgia, how many hours is it a month? 5 a month. Okay. So if they rotated, there's about 18 of them. They could rotate, and that could be one of their volunteer experiences too, which would be great for the little kids and for them. So that is another option.
Yes, question.
Not really a question, but a concern. So I was at the first school board meeting, and Russ had said something about a school board member from Moore Road. He's seen upgrade in academics, although also upgrade in crime, vandalism, stuff like that. That has been on my mind, but really didn't matter much until Sunday. Sunday, students actually vandalized my dad's car. They tried breaking into my dad's car. So that I'm worried about other people on Monday since it's business days. Are we gonna bring in Todd County to run the streets more often? Or, because we can't watch our vehicles while we're at work.
Yep. So the question was, and it's been raised at every meeting, there's data out there that vandalism and crime rates have gone up on these off days. Again, I can't guarantee they won't. I hope that we are raising quality kids at Bertha-Hewitt that won't do that. So I apologize that happened on Sunday. I don't have an answer for that because I can't guarantee it. Some people said there is data that went up 20% in one region. The schools I have talked to that have similar poverty than us in numbers and location, they have not seen that go up in their districts.
And I would question if that's an issue, then it's a summertime issue too. That's not just going to be a Monday issue.
We're used to summers. We're used to that. We get creative. We have people watching. This is a new concept, and we can't rely on those people that help us during the summer.
And I think that's part of what they talked about that growing, you get used to it once that's your reality. But would there be a hiccup? Right now, I don't hear much about crime involving students, so if we had one kid do something, our crime rate would go up by 100%. Because I haven't heard too much, but I'm not saying that it doesn't happen.
Question.
So do you think there will be an increase in teacher participation for coaching with the 4-day model? I'm just thinking myself, if I was working 4 days a week, I don't want to come in on the 5th day coach.
I don't think so. I don't think we'll see a decrease. I think our coaches who are in the position now won't change because of it, because they are coaching 5 days a week. Nobody has come to me as a coach and said, I don't like this model because that should be my off day. So I think they're in it for the right reasons. I won't see a decrease. I can't tell you about an increase. I don't know that. So the question was, will we see a increase in maybe people coaching and helping out? I've not heard either way on that one. staff are here till 3:50 anyways, maybe we'll see more people doing it because I gotta stay 35 minutes longer than I typically had to, so you might see an increase in that. Question?
I'm not an athletic coach, and I mentioned this.
If you have a comment, I'll give it to you. If you have a question, I'll repeat it.
I am not an athletic coach, but I mentioned this in the Hewitt meeting. For me, I'm the FFA advisor, so I compete with all of the coaches for kids this time, and I love that kids are in sports. Both of my boys are 3-sport athletes right now, so I understand the commitment these kids have. And for me, I actually, as an FFA coach, could see myself putting in more time for some of those students on that off day if they are able to, again, if it's a transportation thing, that's something that has to be dealt with. But if I want to practice with some kids to learn some meat stuff or some milk quality or poultry, like that gives me a day that I'm not competing for an athletic event or practice or anything like that, that I can spend quality time with some of those kids. And I do work with almost 40 students, so that's kind of a big deal for me. One thing that I could see a big positive for, and I know Mr. Wagner had mentioned it, he's also competing with the drama type things, and they're practicing super early in the morning. That might give them an opportunity. So if we're looking at kids that aren't just in sports, we have kids that do all sorts of things, and I think doing this would give them another opportunity to be more involved in different things. So I think moving forward with it gives a lot more opportunities as well.
And yearbook advisor, I will echo that. Yes, it'd be nice to have that extra day for kids to come in and work.
And I think if time was the issue for coaches, nobody would be coaching anyway because they're starting before school. A lot of people are going into June. It just is the nature of coaching. So I don't foresee that as a problem.
Heidi?
Well, as a coach from Verndale, and when we're paired with Bertha, our time with the students already gets cut because of the transportation thing, either Verndale coming to Bertha or Bertha going to Verndale. And if the school day is ending later, then that gets pushed that even later. And then when they have to leave for a sporting event, they're going to miss even more school. And then they're going to have to get up earlier to try to get to school and be tired from the sporting event. So, I mean, and how's that going to affect Harvest Prairie? They're traveling
I would
further.
say that the school day is starting at 8:54. Let's say there's a couple, that's where we're at now. Or 7:54, sorry. I'm coming in at 8 now. 7:54. The kids are here, standing in the hallway waiting for breakfast at 7:40, and we have nobody to even supervise them. Sometimes 7:20. And it's not 2 or 3 kids. It's 30 or 40 kids standing in the hallway, and that's just elementary. High school kids who drive themselves, they're here at 7:45. The buses are here at 7:45. I just don't think the earlier start time is an issue for getting up. I mean, it's the same time. The after school, I'll let.
Yeah, Mr. Mills and I have talked to Verndale administration. He talked to the AD. I talked to the superintendent. That's not a concern for them. Right now, it's only spring sports because winter sports, they come to us. So our kids are waiting 25, 30 minutes for Parkers and Verndale to get here. So it's probably going to be 10 to 15 times. Right now, we wait for Verndale to come here for sports, and they wait for us. There might be some occasions where we have split practices. You're just in, it's might not be a team event. You just practice in Bertha, you're practicing in Verndale. So I don't want to make a decision based on 10 to 12 times where our student athletes, 20% of the kids are going to be late for a practice. The Verndale administration doesn't feel that is an issue on their part. So, but thanks for bringing that up. Yep.
I don't necessarily think that a sports-oriented, I think the learning, our children that are here, they're here to learn. I think sports it's good. It's a way for students to work together because with our devices that we have nowadays, no one communicates. So if the only time they get to communicate is during a sporting event, then I think that's fantastic. But I think our school is here for educational purposes, so I guess that's all I have to say about it.
And I'd like to continue on that. If you would ask a professional what they feel is best for their profession, you would trust that they're answering wholeheartedly and to the best of their ability. we have interviewed the teachers or surveyed the teachers multiple times, and it has been overwhelmingly supported by the teachers. Then we go to the students, part of the student body. We ask them the same thing. What do you feel? Do you feel like going to a 4-day or 5-day week, staying a 5-day week, would be beneficial? And again, the majority is with the 4-day week. Then you go to the community, and again, the majority wants the 4-day week. If I would ask my teachers of my children, what do you think is best for the students? I would have to say they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart and the education they've been provided to do their best with our kids. And why would we ignore the numbers now and say, yes, I know you're in favor of it, but we feel like there's too many cons. They're the professionals in education. I am not. I have a different profession. And we have to trust that the teachers are voting this way because they do feel this will be the best for our students and our district and our community. It would be like if I would go to my boss, not an educator, and say, I think X, Y, and Z would help my job. And he'd say, just a second, I'm going to go pull the janitor at the gas station. Is that a good representation of what will improve my job? No, I just told you. And we have teachers overwhelmingly and students and community members saying, we think this is going to be good. This isn't this is a quick move. I mean, no one understands government timelines at all. We're not going to, break it down here. But we are a district that is a leader, and we are in the forefront of saying, hey, we can make this better. Let's do it. And let's get behind our educators, and let's get behind our parents, let's get behind our students and go for this, because there is a lot of support. And the data is for it, and the data is against it. But in the end, we have to trust that our educators are voting in a way that would not be detrimental to our school or our students.
I'm going to just try to talk really loud because I don't like microphones. I have a technology little son who tells me to eat the microphone at home. I think I can talk loud enough. I had a good choir director in high school. All right, I'm a transplant from New Jersey. I came to move near my grandkids. So I don't know how much this comes from the East Coast or whether it's all over. And it was before COVID that it happened. A lot of workplaces, and this is going into the adult world, were trying out the 4-day work day and giving 3 days off. I think that they could still work from home on that 5th day if they wanted to, or in this computer age you can still do that kind of stuff. But their actual going to work was 4 days. And what they found, I don't have percentages because I don't pay attention to that stuff 100%, but they got better productivity out of their workers by having that extra day off, like a day of rest. And they put more effort into their work, whatever their careers happen to be. Now that's going into the adult world, but I work in a different school district as a para, and I know that the kids come in Monday more refreshed. Now, will it be better with 3 days? I don't know, but just throwing that out there as in the adult world when they converted, your nurses have converted over to longer days, but, well, not less days a week, but somehow they get their 40 hours in at one time.
Good point. If you didn't hear that, you talked about when businesses translated to a 4-day week, they've got more productivity out of their staff in those 4 days. Question?
I'm not trying to argue with you.
Oh, that's fine.
You said that you heard about this in March?
Yep, March 15th.
Okay, so what prompted you, when you had earlier said that you started looking into this in the fall? What prompted you to start looking into this?
We were at a career pathways. This is just my direction. Eric had a little different direction, but we had a career pathways meeting. I went with a couple of teachers to Sourcewell, and we had a bunch of schools presenting on how they do career pathways in their school. One of them in particular, Baby E, was there, and they were talking about their 4-day school week. So we just started talking about it. How does that work? A couple of them sat at our table, and we started asking questions, and we were talking about how hard it has been getting people to apply for our positions. And they just started saying, we might have 1 or 2 a year, and they're full by March. And people stay, and I was just like, okay. And I know a a lot of schools are having trouble filling their positions. But I just started thinking, that might not be a bad idea to think about. So then we talked about it off and on, kind of almost jokingly for a little while. And then I did some more research. Dave did some research, Mr. Mills, and then Mr. Kep started talking to some of the superintendents, and then poof, all of a sudden, March 15th, there it came.
Yeah, so the question was, if you didn't know till March 15th, when did you actually start looking into this? I probably have 2 or 3 years ago, just because I'm trying to look ahead 3 to 5 years on what we can do to stay viable as Bertha-Hewitt as more schools around the state close down. And that was one thing I looked at. I knew we were going to have a teacher shortage 7 years ago. And we put things in place to try to attract people to the profession. And as Mr. Nelson said, Morehead State had 520-some kids in education 3 years ago. They're going to graduate 200 and some. They're not out there. So what can we do to try to get the ones that are out there to apply at Bertha-Hewitt? And that's why I looked in this last couple of years. March 15th, I was at a table in the cities with 4 superintendents. We all got the same email, and me and 2 of them looked at each other because we've been talking about it the last 6 months. So we couldn't believe it was going to be true. Melissa was one of them in Henning, but she said, I can't with the building project. Otherwise, they'd be on the same page right now as we are. So, good question. Any more questions? I appreciate the very openness and transparency. Yes, Gene?
I just want to thank you, parents. I mean, honestly, this is the best turnout of the 3 meetings. And as a brand new school board member, I hear a lot about how the decision has already been made. It has not, just like he has said. Having said that, though, I want you parents to feel free in contacting us, letting us know how you feel. This is a big decision. It's a really big deal. It's our school, and it's your kids. And those of you that feel like you don't have a voice, this is your time to speak. These are your kids. And if you don't speak, it's the same as to speak is to say something, regardless of whether you realize it or not. And no matter how this vote goes, no matter how it goes, not everybody's going to be happy. And it clearly sounds like we've got other issues that need to be addressed, because no one plan is perfect. And I'm just telling you, our hearts are for the kids. Our hearts are for this school. We care. And I just want you to reach out on the website. I don't care if you call a landline number, for those of you who have one. Maybe I'm old school, And I'm even going to advocate going on the email address. And I think I said I'm old school. I'm not big on that. But I mean, use it, because we need to know how you feel. Okay? I'm never going to advocate that if the decision's already been made. But I just want you to know that comes from the heart.
Yep, so we will meet Wednesday. Usually we meet in my office upstairs. We're going to meet down here again Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I will not have a presentation. This is my last presentation. So we'll open up for probably 15 minutes of comments. We have a limited timeline of comments. We're going to open up to about 15 minutes. People just say their place. Board Chair Teal will ask for somebody to make a motion to move into this, and then the board will have discussion as well before they make a final vote. So, any final comments? Yes?
Will this affect release time at all?
I spoke with
Sarah
today about 3 times through email. We've looked at release time a lot the last couple of years. We talked about eliminating it 2 years ago. We still feel there's a need for it, but with some staffing up there anyways. I said I'm not going to speak on behalf of the board. We discussed it last night at the board level, so we'll discuss it again. If we move to a 4-day model, obviously it'll be later, but we will talk about having it 1 less day a month because we're having less school days as well, so we keep the kids here as long as possible. Once again, the board discussed it last time, so if we move to 4 days, that'll become a board topic again. So, great question. No, thank you.
What were we talking about eliminating?
Sorry, my bad. I should repeat it. You're right. Correct. Right now we have release time, so every Wednesday, kids are able to go to their church from 2 to 3 o'clock. Will we still allow that? I can't speak on behalf of the board. We allowed it this year. My recommendation, if we do go to 4 days, is maybe to have it 1 less time a month so we keep the school kids in school as much as possible. Yes?
Will the discussion and the vote of the school board
Only time we close meetings at board meetings, we close them to discuss negotiations among staff members, a personnel issue, or we close the last meeting to talk about a possible sale of property. So this will definitely be open discussion. Yep, we are voting to apply on Wednesday. So the board will vote yes or no to apply. The application will be done by Friday. I did talk to MDE, and the reason the commissioner opened it up this time is because for staffing purposes. Like I said, it was financial before, so the fact that our three reasons up the top are staff, retention, attraction, and academic success, they believe our application has a good chance of being approved quicker than the 45-day window. If the board does say yes to it and we put the application in, we will post for jobs stating we are looking at a 4-day school week to get those applications in sooner than later.
Just a comment, and I think those of you that are in Hewitt probably remember me mentioning this too. In a prior life, I used to be the tech services coordinator at Freshwater, and I worked in about 9 different school districts. And I got to know superintendents and principals in every building. And I said it the other night, and I'll say it again. I feel like this admin team they're firing in all cylinders. This is a group that really they're able to see potential strategies. They're able to plan together, and I have no doubt that going forward, if we do this, they'll make a home run. I think it's a really good group for that. One other comment too. I've mentioned this to family, and I think it's just something to reflect on. My grandpa Walt talked about the hard-fought meetings of combining Bertha and Hewitt. My dad talked about that it was a difficult decision, and there were lots of voices both ways on building this building, 1980 edition. And there were a lot of people in the year 2000 that thought that the gym was a colossal waste of money. But here we are. We can't imagine our school without those things. And I think this is the right time in history to look at these kind of changes. And I think we've got the right administrative team to be able to see the kind of what's coming. And I think they're one step ahead. Somebody asked why other schools aren't doing this. I talked with some of my tech director friends. Frankly, they're all buried right now. They can't see. And this group here has taken an opportunity to see ahead. And I commend you for it, and I think it's a good team for that.
Other comments?
I would just like to kind of echo what Scott said. I have a 9th grade, I call it CTE leadership class, and we're kind of, this is the first time I've done it, and we're muddling through some different character traits that we look for in people. And the one that we're working on right now is actually initiative. And when I saw the word, it made me think of this whole situation right here, that we do have an administrative team that has taken the initiative to act on an opportunity, because that's how I see it. This is an opportunity for us to make some sort of a change to hopefully better our school by doing it. Obviously, going forward the way that we are, it's very uncertain how things are going to go. Again, going forward as a 4-day model, there's a lot of uncertainties, but there's a whole lot of things that we have seen from other schools that we can go off of. And so, again, I think this group has taken the initiative, which is a really important character trait for those people that want to look forward. Like Mr. Kep just said, he was thinking about this. He's looking ahead. Mr. Wagner said the same thing. Other schools can't see it because they're so buried in where they are that they can't look ahead and see these opportunities as they come along. So I really, really, truly believe that this is an opportunity that was meant for this school. And I think, well, obviously you guys all know how I feel about it. And I'm a teacher, I'm a mother, I've got kids. I can see this benefiting my children. I can see it benefiting all of your children as well.
I don't want to leave anybody without comments. So Jean made a great point. This is a time to make your voice heard. So if you have any additional comments, there are some students here if you want to speak on your expectations of the day now compared to what it would be, this is an opportunity to speak.
Okay, I have two things. The first is a question. I'm just wondering if like the vote is like a unanimous vote or like a majority vote.
It'll be a majority vote, so we'll do a roll call vote, so Board Chair Teal will count on each member, so the vote is heard, and if it's 4-3 no, then it goes down, 5-2 yes, so it's just a majority vote.
Okay, and then I just want to kind of give light to like what it is in our situation, because we've heard a lot of pros from all these people, and I'm not against a 4-day week, but it affects our family differently because we have two working parents that work outside of town. We're technically getting less time with our kids because no matter what, we can't pick our kids up from the hangout until at least 4:30 because we work an hour away. So we're technically getting less time since we have to have them to school earlier. And I know you mentioned targeted services, but we're still going to have an extra expense with daycare every week with 3 young kids in school. I think that the like elementary age school kids are just kind of getting swept under the rug. It seems like there's not really many pros for them in this. They get an extra day of daycare, watching videos and playing video games and whatever. And daycare prices are only rising. We just got an increase at the hangout just this week. I mean, it's a big expense for our family, and it's scary for us to try to think of how we're going to do it, especially in a community that's kind of low income, So I just wanted to voice my concern there. Like I said, I'm not for or against, but
No, I super appreciate your feedback, so thank you very much. Understand that, so thanks for speaking. Yes.
So my question is actually for the school board. I wasn't able to make the 2 other meetings, but I was there for the first one. And the majority of you guys said that you want more statistics, more numbers, more data. Do you feel that you've gotten that over these?
I will let maybe 1 or 2 of them talk. They're here for input. If we didn't post for a meeting to have any discussion about it. Yep.
Sure that the meetings were beneficial for
Yep.
them. It's their vote.
You guys are able to talk. This won't sway what you're voting.
No,
Yep.
just a simple yes.
Yep.
It was informational, or you wish you had more or something.
I do believe that we have received data, but I think when you do research, you can always go out and find the answer that you want. There's not a lot of data on 4-day week.
Sharon's comment was you can find the data you want. People have shared that they're against it, and here's data why. For it, here's data why. You can find what you want. There's just not a whole lot of data out there because the sample size is so small, especially in Minnesota.
And I will add that I do appreciate everybody that is here, like Jane said. I appreciate the emails that we have been receiving. I appreciate the phone calls because you guys, the community, we are listening to you. We are your stakeholder. And we've been put in this position because of you guys. And so we are listening to you. So and I appreciate that.
I feel like we've gotten the data that we've asked for. I'm also looking personally at data myself. Also, I feel like I've gotten the feedback both ways from everybody, which makes this a really, really difficult decision. But I think we just have to take the best interests of the students and do what's best for our district and community.
Anything else? Matt, anything? Any other questions, comments?
I also have students in elementary here at Bertha-Hewitt, and I strongly believe that this would benefit them for an extra day off. And I know they won't be playing video games because we would not allow that at our household, even if they do get to stay home. I'm lucky enough to have a very flexible work schedule, and I believe a lot of us probably have an option if we want to, since COVID, to make something work for our kids. But Eric already has a plan together for our kids that's very low cost. So thank you for that, Eric, because we heard the others say they didn't even offer, and parents were just left to deal with it. Also, as far as daycare prices, we sign up for that when we have a kid, and we had our kids at home daycare. We were paying $1,100 a month, and even at the hangout with their raised prices, it's only $500 a month for our family. So I still feel it's very affordable, and our school is very lucky to have the hangout and Hope, and they do an amazing job there. So thank you.
Yep, that's another thing. I think, we've tried to do things over the last several years to accommodate our families, and the hangout is one of them. Without Hope and what she has done at that hangout, we wouldn't have the daycare option to even provide families. I know people talk about the rates are increasing and they're high and they're going to have to pay. Hope did not take that research process lightly, contacting many schools, many home daycares. We're still the most affordable daycare, and I strongly agree in the best daycare, the best staff, the best facilities. So we're lucky to have that. So good point. Thank you. Yes.
If this does go through, would we be able to consider a scholarship fund to be set up so that we could help families with that?
If this goes through, would we be able to look at a scholarship fund to try to help families with that? I would think so. We have a few different options we can look at doing that. I would think that'd be something we can look into. Can't guarantee it. We do have a couple of different foundation opportunities that we can look at doing. So good point. Thank you. Yes.
Is our school set up to be a daycare? Do we have the facilities available? My understanding is the hangout is already packed to its maximum. Is our school going to meet the state regulations to even have it as a daycare?
Yep, I believe our current daycare coordinator, Hope, we've met a few times. I'm not going to put Hope on the spot to talk, but we had our daycare license in here in the building before. We operated out of the wrestling room during COVID. So the school age childcare, so was it 5 years old, Hope, school age? 5 years to 12 years. That regulation is a lot less strict than the regulations that have to hang out with the infant and all that kind of stuff. There'd be some work to do, obviously, but we have operated the daycare in the building in the past. So we have talked originally about using the preschool, but because of immediate feedback from families, our preschool program is not going to change. So Head Start still has 4 days. 3-year-olds will come 2 days, and 4-year-olds will come 3 days. So the preschool rooms aren't going to be an option on those days. We're confident in the library, the multi-purpose room, and different places in the building to have the daycare, which will qualify.
I just wanted to make sure that we're not incurring extra expense.
Nope. Yep. That's a great question. Thank you. Yes.
So I'm a first-year teacher, and just speaking a little bit on teacher retention. I guess even going through teacher preparation programs in college, it never really prepares you for what teaching really is. I know for me, and I think all the teachers in this school, we went into this profession because we care about kids, and we care about their future, and it's just something that it really comes from our heart. And when you start teaching and you realize, oh my gosh, this is a lot of work, it's exhausting, and everyone's just like, if I just had a little more time. If I just had another day where I could really prep for this, or I know what I would do if I had 4 more hours, I could really get this ready, I really feel like I could put more time and energy into my day with the kids, into my lesson for this, into my lesson for that. For personally, I think having a 4-day week, I would probably be working on school stuff those days that I do have off, because we do care for the kids. We do want to teach the best of our ability. And so being able to have the time to then utilize the time that we do have with the kids more intentionally, I think would be extremely beneficial. And then thinking about, I graduated from the University of Minnesota Morris, and I believe there's 13 of us that graduated with elementary education degrees. And I believe out of those 13, only 9 of us are going to continue teaching after this year. It's overwhelming. Everyone feels burnt out. It's hard to find a school that you really feel supported in. And so I think this would be a huge step into teachers feeling more supported, getting more time so they feel like they can teach better with the time they do have with the kids. And I think it would be a huge pull to get teachers to come in knowing that they will have that prep time. They will be able to do the things they want to do for the benefit of the students and also the benefit of their lives as well.
For those of you that don't know, she's a first-year teacher in kindergarten.
There's data everywhere, but 15 to 20% of teachers are leaving the profession within the first 3 years, and that's why teacher burnout. So it's a good comment. Anything else? Yes.
I'm Paula Wojcik. I teach English. This is my second year in Bertha-Hewitt, and I came from Ashby, and I worked there for 6 years, and I stopped teaching for a year because I thought I couldn't be a teacher anymore because I was burnt out after COVID. And Mr. Kep kind of asked me to come out of my retirement because they needed us. And I came over here, and I'm just finishing my second year, and I love it. And I have never felt so supportive by an administration and the teachers here that I have here at Bertha. This is a very remarkable school, and no matter what kind of change you make, you're always going to have people that are against it, that you have differing opinions. But I've never seen an administration go through and make as many different ideas and surveys and make changes trying to address all of the concerns as I've seen our leadership and our administrators do with this vote. And I am just absolutely in awe of how much the school is willing to work with people to make it the best place for our kids and for our community. And so I am very proud to be a Bear. I'm very proud to be back in the teaching game. I have no intention of leaving unless they want to get rid of me. But I just really, really hope that people just stop and look at the big picture and just do whatever you can to make this work, no matter what way the vote goes. I just think we all just need to get in for the kids because it's really worth it.
That was one comment from staff, is that they wanted to take 17 more surveys before they decide. Super appreciative of everyone here tonight. The transparency, willing to be open and talk and share your feelings. That's what makes Bertha-Hewitt a special place. Whatever the decision is on Wednesday, we're all going to be here Thursday morning and help the kids, and they're going to be here next year as well. So appreciate it. Yes.
As the wife of a teacher, I try not to speak up a lot because I always have a lot to say. First and foremost, so my husband's been teaching for 17 years, and he's known he wanted to be a teacher since the 3rd grade, okay? And he still wants to be a teacher. He has experienced that burnout. I watched it in him. He preps at home in the morning, in the evenings. He's talking with his teaching partner on the weekends. So being a teacher is more than just when you're in the school. It's so much more than that. You're always thinking about the kids. And being the wife of a teacher, selfishly, yeah, I would love for him to have the 4-day week. So he does have that Monday, which I'm still working. I have a very demanding job, so half the time I'm traveling, and he gets to play mom and dad and teacher all the time. And so when we keep this in mind, think about the students and the teachers. And the school has to pay extra. Every time my husband has to take sick time to take the kids to appointments or leave when I'm traveling, that's an extra burden that they have to carry too. If we want Bertha School to stick around, and I would love it. I came from a school where I had 250 kids in my class, and I thought that was great. And then I come up to Bertha, and I was like, what's Bertha? Okay? And I honestly could never imagine going anywhere else between the school. My kids have a community. They love their teachers. If I even suggested that we go anywhere else, I'm pretty sure Layla would riot. She probably wouldn't leave the school just to make sure she got to come back. If we want to keep the school, we need to keep this in mind so that we have the budget for the future, so we can keep class sizes down, so we don't have to close 5-10 years down the road. I mean, let's keep our community special. And the work you guys have done, as the wife of a teacher, the mom of students, and a community member, I appreciate it. So thank you.
everything on Facebook is true, though. Well, no, Luke makes a good point. You make it work. Talking to other school districts, you do go by 5, 6 homes. You make it work. You carpool. You invite kids over for the Monday. Kids socialize on Mondays. They talk. They go do stuff. They have fun outside. Yes, you might have kids playing video games. You control that. So I think there's a lot of positives that can be done on those Mondays. I do feel that this might be beneficial more towards high school a little bit, but there's the schools that have stayed in it feel enough positives for the whole K-12 student body to stay in it.
I know several people have spoke on like teacher burnout and things like that, but I want to flip it and point out that kids are getting burnt out too. When I think of my 2 boys, well, my 3, the littlest one's not in stuff yet, but my older 2, a 6th grade and a 4th grader, they're already getting burnt out. Devin's wrestling season this year, he had kind of a meltdown towards the end, and he finally broke down and said, "Mom, this is too long." So the activities are getting younger and younger and younger, which is good to keep our kids active, but kids are getting burnt out. So when we do have a day off, my kids are getting at each other, and I send them outside. I say, "Go play." And it's not, 5-10 minutes later, they're having so much fun outside, then I can't get them back in. And I feel like they're craving and need that time without structure, just to explore and do stuff. And I don't allow video games and that sort of thing at my house because I feel like there's too much of that already. And then I'm also a first-year teacher, and I teach high school art. And I've really grown to love these kids like my own. So when those that have said, "This is coming from our heart," it truly is. And there's days where I'll hear over the announcements a game has been canceled due to weather, or practice has been canceled, and the sigh of relief in the room is sad. I mean, it breaks my heart because they're like, "Oh, I finally just get to go home." And these kids want to participate in sports, and they want to play their sports, but it's getting to be too much. Like, they need a break, as well as the teachers. So I just wanted to point that out as well.
And no matter what, we'll make it work because we have people like Tracy, not even a licensed teacher, but she's a rock star in something she likes to do. So if it doesn't happen, we'll find people like Tracy to fill the jobs to continue to operate a quality education. Yes?
For the kids that live in town, a lot of them utilize the playground when it's there. If we're going to have targeted services and not really have a lot of staff there, is the school going to close their grounds during school not hours?
Is the school going to close maybe part of the property, playground, that kind of stuff on the off hours? I can't. What's that?
Like, how would we keep them safe and stuff like that for that?
It's a good question. I don't foresee us closing down any facilities, but it's something I'll have to look into. It's a good question. Thank you. Somebody else, a hand back there?
Back to like the student burnout thing. I decided not to do softball this year, and having that time just to like go home after school, recuperate a little bit. And I'm in a lot of things to where I get tired. But having that time after school, I feel like different days I'm off. For me personally, I knew it would benefit me having that extra day to go do something fun with friends or other activities that I wanted to do.
To add on to that, in a different atmosphere, I didn't do track and field this year. I got a job at the Hangout, and honestly, that is the best part of my day. The atmosphere is
More power to you.
Give it a month.
the atmosphere there is so much better. Like, there's not the pressure that, like, it's work, but it's fun. I have a lot of fun and I enjoy it there.
Really love it.
And then, like, going to sports, sometimes that feels like, I don't know, it feels like weight on your shoulders, and not having that is such a relief.
Yeah, some students had said that they are not playing sports because they're burnt out. If they had Monday off, they'd be out for more stuff. We have kids right now who aren't in sports because they want to work after school. If they had Monday to work, they would be in sports. So I believe actually will increase participation. Tina?
I just want to say burnout is a very real thing. I understand that, but there is burnouts in every profession you
conversation. Right now we have an A list. If on the A list you can't participate, we've briefly talked about maybe you have to come in on one of those days to get off the A list. Said initial conversations, I'm not sure how popular that is, but it's an option. So, Mr. Quam?
Hi, my name's Stephen Quam. I've been here 11 years. I coach girls basketball, softball, so I coach sports 2 and 3 of the school year. The burnout is huge for a lot of my girls. I want them to be as involved as possible, but being realistic, volleyball season starts mid-August. If they have volleyball season into junior high girls basketball and they're in 8th grade, I'm gonna ask them to come up after Christmas, and they're gonna go straight through all the way to June. We're asking a lot of 12 and 13-year-old kids. And on top of that, we just had a couple interviews last week for a band position, and one of the questions they asked was, what's one thing that you're proud about your school? And I was told to answer, and it's we do offer so many things. Mr. Wagner is excellent in our drama department. Miss Oyster is killing it in the FFA. We have kids in student council, National Honor Society, BPA, you name it. We have tons of kids involved with numerous activities. As a result, we're asking more and more and more of these kids, and more of them want jobs. They want to take PSEO classes to get their AA. So we're putting more on their plates at the exact same time. In talking with my sophomore advisees, the day off is going to be a day that they can get a job and not have to worry about missing or something. Or they can actually study for their PSEO classes rather than cramming it into a Thursday night late. So I do see some benefit with allowing kids to be kids an extra day, because we do ask a lot of them, especially starting younger and younger.
Mr. Kemp?
Our softball team should go to state this year, and 2 kids, starters, didn't go out because they're burnt out. It's real.
I just want to comment on that, because several people have just sort of said the same thing about kids being burned out and all the activities and all the things. My daughter's a 6th grader, and she's doing 3 sports this year, and she just signed up for the fishing league, which I think it's great that the kids have all these opportunities. And we love the school because we've homeschooled for part of her educational career. And if we didn't think this was a great school, she wouldn't be here. She'd still be at home. But having said that, it seems a little backwards to say the kids have so much going on, we need to cut a day out of school and give them a day off so they can work and do all these extracurriculars and things. Our daughter's here to get an education, and that's our first priority. So we're glad she has the opportunities, and we're glad she's taking advantage of them. But if she gets too tired and she says, Mom, I need to only go to school 4 days because I can't keep up with all this, the first thing that's going to go is activities. So I just think we need to keep our priorities in order here. And, you know, and I don't think that's a very good reason to go to a 4-day school week.
Yep.
That's just my opinion.
Yep, and to kind of maybe to piggyback on what they're saying, to clarify, I think that it was that hopefully they won't be as burnt out to be focused on the days that they are here.
Just one quick thing that people maybe haven't thought of. My family has a old one-room schoolhouse that sits empty. Education changes, and we're kind of to that point. Stuff changes. Hewitt School sits empty. My family has the one-room schoolhouse that many smart people went through there, just as smart as today. So I think this is a good move.
They can take over on education on Mondays in the schoolhouse.
Hi, I'm Noah Singh Sank. I'm a first-year teacher here. I actually went to a 4-day school week when we transitioned at ACGC, and I personally loved it. I was able to work on Mondays since I did sports during the winter and the spring. I was busy all the time. It was just a nice way to be able to make money so I could even afford college